Special education teachers, admins, therapists, and parents, if you sit at an IEP table and you want to turn your IEP experience into income, you're in the right place. This is not for you today if you're looking for IEP advice or legal advice. If you like to say that side of the IEP table versus that side of the IEP table, we're going to be talking about collaborative strategies of how you can turn your IEP experience into income, helping parents and schools work together. We're going to do this by focusing on the purpose of special education. And I'm going to show you how when you work to help simplify the IEP process for all IEP team members, you can create more meaningful outcomes, which is so very important because the meaningful outcomes through the IEP process, it makes a better future for the child and for the entire family. And I can share that from experience. I'm a special needs sibling, and I know what it means to build an IEP that truly changes the future for a child. Now more than ever, we have to be focused on that future. You know, the purpose of IDEA law says that we have to provide a free and appropriate public education in our school system, right? For all students, for our students who have IEPs. It also says that we need to meet their unique needs and we need to prepare a child for further education, employment, independent living. And that's the key. That's the key. When we get focused on helping schools and families really hone in on what is needed for a child to be prepared for further education, employment, independent living, the entire IEP process just becomes more clear and more achievable. All right, a little bit about me in case we haven't met before. My name is Kahl. I have a brother with Down syndrome. I became a certified special education teacher. Back in the day, I thought I was going to solve all the problems in special education by becoming a teacher. I didn't quite work out that way. So instead, I've spent the last 30 years helping parents and teachers in schools solve IEP problems from working on the outside of the system. I've been married, divorced, single mom, blended family, special needs mom. I've been through all of the ups and downs, and I share that with you because I want you to know that the strategies I'm talking about today of turning your IEP experience into income, they're not reserved for when life is going good, right? When life feels calm. I don't know when life has ever really felt calm for more than just a short term. Right? So this is about turning your IEP experience into income in a way that can support your life through the ups and downs, the chaos, the calm, and really provide this stability for your family. Here's how it's going. I've been a solopreneur for decades. I love working for myself. I love being able to put my family first. I love being able to get creative and help parents and teams solve IEP struggles. There's 3 core ways that I do that, and I'm going to share those with you today. We're going to do this in 3 steps. I'm going to teach you 3 ways to create income, turning your IEP experience into income. We're going to talk about how to find your first 5 clients, because if one of those ways that you want to turn your IEP experience into income is to help families through the IEP process, you're going to ask, how do I find those families? So we're going to cover that. I'm also going to share with you how we can get started working together so I can help you complete this process in 30 days. I'm going to share with you no fluff, no theories, just the exact things that I've done to create a stable financial foundation for my family for decades. Yes, I've created more than a teacher's salary, but I don't necessarily talk about what income looks like because you know what? My enough number, how much I needed in different seasons of my life, that changes. I don't know what your enough number is. What I do know is that there's almost 8 million students who are receiving special education services. There are definitely multiple different types of needs for you to use your experience and to help schools, to help parents, to help organizations through this IEP process. Now, more than ever, parents need people that they can trust. This is a big thing that's happening. There's a lot of broken trust. There always has been. But here with the misuse of AI, with the amount of information that is out there, right? It's easy to find out what the IEP, guidelines are. It's easy to find out what the law is. It's hard to discern what is the right thing to do. And you can use your IEP experience to help somebody figure that out. That is valuable. That is exactly what we do inside of our Master IEP Coach community. So you're going to hear me talk about Master IEP Coach, and this is really a set of standards. It is a set of curriculum. It is a community that works together to improve special education through collaborative strategies. A Master IEP coach is somebody who becomes the idea bringer, solution finder, and team builder at the IEP table. I get asked all the time, is this the same as becoming an IEP advocate? Kind of, but you know what? This is not an IEP law process. Like, I'm not going to teach you the IEP law. What I'm going to do is show you how to use your current IEP experience to help families and schools through the IEP process. Will you lean on the law? Will you reference the law? Yes, you will. Are you going to use the law as a weapon? Are you going to throw it out there as a threat? No, you're not. No, not as a Master IEP coach. So advocacy is about helping somebody speak up, have their voice. And absolutely, as a Master IEP coach, you can have advocacy strategies. But this is about, again, really thinking about what problems do you love to solve in special education? Like, what comes easy to you? Like, what does everybody come to you to? If you're a teacher, what are people calling you for to come solve in their classroom, right? What are parents saying, like, hey, could you help me? They're amazed that you've been able to help with this progress with their child. All different opportunities that you have there to solve. If you're a parent, what are other parents constantly asking you for when it comes to help, right? So therapists, admin, same thing. So advocacy a lot of times has to do with the big picture of enforcing the law. This is more about creating solutions based on your experience. And does this work in all 50 states? Yep, absolutely it does. So again, you may need to go reference the law to make sure that your recommendations and your work with your schools and with the parents, that it's all in alignment with the law. But you can look that up. Federal law is a big foundation. Again, preparing everybody for further education, employment, independent living is a huge focus as a Master IEP coach. Now I want to know, I want you to think to yourself right now, who are you most like? Are you a Jessica? Like, you've thought about helping others through the IEP process, but all the objections in your head are stopping you. You're like, I'd love to help parents, but I don't know how much to charge, and I don't know how to set up my website, and I don't know, what kind of business entity I need, and I don't know what tools would I have, and would anybody actually hire me? Like, I don't know these things. And you get stuck in the I don't know. Or are you a Lindsay? You want to help others through the IEP process, but you don't want to spend your days fighting at IEP tables. You're like, I would totally help parents. I am not sitting through meeting after meeting after meeting just fighting at IEP tables. Like, that is not what you really desire to do, but you do want to help in some way. Or are you Natalie? Natalie is like, I'm all in. I'm going to help parents through the IEP process or schools. Sure, I'll sit at IEP tables. I'll do all this. The problem is that as Natalie, she needs step-by-step instructions. Life is too busy. You don't have time to figure it out. Like, hey, I'll do it all. Just give me all this step-by-step. Are you a Jessica, a Lindsay, or Natalie? I can tell you right now, Jessica, Lindsay, and Natalie, no matter which one you are, this is exactly where you need to be. You can see Lisa's here. Lisa, when she wrote this, and this was quite a while ago, but she did write that, she's been in the community, a Master IEP coach for over a year, and things have gone well. You can see Danielle said that she resisted taking the training for years due to financial constraints, which totally get it. Like, I get it. This is an investment. You're making an investment to further your education, so then you can take your experience and then help others. So, and then Cassandra, who says that she's had several local word of mouth referrals the last couple of weeks, and things are really starting to get busy around these parts. So families will tell other families about you. That's the great thing about your Master IEP coach work. I love that picture of our Master IEP coach community. We're real people who get together once a year, totally optional, but we love to get together, and it's just really a very unique, like-minded community. Okay, let's get back to this. 3 ways to create income, ways to find your first 5 clients, and how to get started. So creating income, the number one way that most Master IEP coaches get started in creating income is supporting parents through the one-on-one process. I mean, supporting parents one-on-one through the IEP process. They do a lot of coaching before meetings and after meetings. Sometimes they attend meetings, but not all the time. A lot of time what coaches are doing is they become the ghostwriter of helping parents find the right words, ask for the right things, know what to say back when the school is saying things like, your child's been removed several times from classroom due to behaviors, and, we want to do this testing, or we want to change placement. Like, how does a parent know who to turn to and who to trust in those situations, and how to navigate? So again, from a coaching standpoint, instead instead of going in a traditional advocacy sense and kind of saying, the law says you have to do things this way, from a coaching standpoint, you're coaching the parents and helping them understand this is the process, this is what's required from the school, and this is what you can say back. And you may be ghostwriting those letters and really supporting the parent. You give those letters to the parent gives them to the school. That's a beautiful process. That's what coaching is. Coaching means that you're going to help parents understand the process. If you're thinking, wait, but could I help teachers understand the process? Sure, you could be a coach for teachers too. So we're going to talk a lot about just kind of the focus on helping parents, because that tends to be where most Master IEP coaches want to lean to, but this absolutely applies to working with teachers and professionals also. So this coaching piece is a beautiful way for you to have a strong foundation of clients that hire you year after year after year, and you become their go-to person, the person that gives them the experience that things like ChatGPT just can't give them, because you know the nuances of what's happening at that IEP table in a way that others who have not been at the IEP table, they just don't get it. The second way to create income as a Master IEP coach is speaking on stages, virtually or in person, parent support groups, nonprofits, professional development, podcasting, social media. There's all different ways to speak and to get paid, and to be able to share your knowledge, share your stories. Tell those stories about the time that you solved the problem of the child who couldn't remain in class because of their behaviors, and everybody thought that they needed new placement, but you were able to set up this system so the child could be successful. Or talking about, what did you set up in an IEP? What did you help a family set up and a team set up when it comes to reading supports and reading programs? So the child who's been stuck not making reading progress for years, they were able to now make reading progress. Being able to share those stories, speak on stage, share your experiences is extremely valuable. Again, in our world of AI, the world of ChatGPT, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? The world of advocacy, the world of IEP coaching, it's changing, because parents can go ahead and just put a bunch of information, right? And get a long list of here's your solutions. But when you start to share your stories, and again, those nuances of what happens in special education, that's where the real solutions happen. A list of possible accommodations, miles long, that doesn't help. Experience of what might or might not help based on what is happening inside of the school system, that is extremely valuable. The next option, and this is the third big option that's out there, is creating courses or memberships. So that's working online, right? And saying okay, I want to use my experience and I want to create tools and I want to deliver them through courses, memberships, or maybe even a digital download, where you're able to create this resource that families or professionals can dig into and learn from your experience and learn what works and what doesn't work. Here, I'll call myself out right now. Can you go into ChatGPT and say, I want to become an IEP coach, set up my business for me? I'm going to tell you, ChatGPT will tell you what to do. Here's the thing. I don't know if Chat's going to give you the right answer. What I can tell you is, after doing this for 30 years, I can tell you what works, what doesn't work. I've been training parents, teachers, admins, and therapists since 2017. So depending on, are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you tech savvy? Are you not tech savvy? Would you love to work in person? Do you want to work virtually? Do you want to work in a group setting? Do you want to work one-on-one? There's so many nuances to figure out what's going to be best for you and how you're going to set this up, that these three ways are to serve and to turn your IEP experience into income through working with families one-on-one, speaking, creating courses, membership, digital products. Those three things are all possible. Which one's going to be the best for you? How are you going to set it up? How are you going to find people who are going to pay you? Those are all the nuances that when you decide to become a Master IEP coach, we're going to go through that and figure out what works best for you. You can see here, oh my goodness, this picture over here. I look so tired. I am so tired in that picture. That was 2017. I had hopped on a plane. I went and I spoke at a parent support group. I was a single mom. My mom watched my kids for less than 24 hours. I literally, flew there, spoke, slept at the hotel for a couple hours, jumped back on a plane, went home, and my calendar was overflowing with one-on-one clients. My speaking calendar was jam-packed. And finally, after many years of people saying, Catherine, can you teach us to do what you do? They didn't just want to receive the services I was giving, but they wanted to learn how to deliver those services. I finally said, yes. You can see there again, there's a group of Master IEP Coaches. We actually rented a yacht. That gathering was in Milwaukee, and we had a dinner cruise. It was fantastic. So I decided to start teaching others to do this, and it's just been an amazing community that has developed. You can see here Becky's celebrating. She got her services page set up on her website. She said, the imposter syndrome is so real though, but this program is helping me process through that. So that's something that's really important. The whole, could I really do this? Who's going to pay me? Hitting publish on your website and then going, oh my goodness, like what are people going to think? Like getting through that mindset is so very important. Also, I just want to share this. I want to share what kind of impact this work has. You can see this is a mom who emailed me and she said, hey, Catherine, I just wanted to say that IEP bootcamp that I did, meaning she attended my IEP bootcamp a few years ago, was life-changing. So you see this mom emailed me a few years later. So many shifts in perspective, as well as useful techniques to help my daughter. I just wanted to stop by and express my gratitude. Keep up the amazing work you do. This was years later. So this is what I mean by being a master IEP coach and helping families year after year after year, using your experience, going on those stages and speaking, or working with families one-on-one, or developing your online program. This is something that can make an impact long-term. Okay, so let's make sure. We've got 3 ways to create income. Got it, working with families one-on-one. Let's talk about finding your first 5 clients. Let's talk about that. Networking. Here's the great thing about the disability community. They're looking for you. You don't have to convince anybody. They're looking for you. There are thousands of Facebook groups and parents saying, does anybody know anybody who could help me with this? And there's also tens of thousands of pieces of, I'm just going to say it, bad advice that's floating around the internet, especially in Facebook groups. And people who have the discernment, like you, of what's going to work, what's not going to work, what's the great way to approach this. It's so very important. So networking, meeting families, in-person, online, resource fairs, community events. There's always events going on in communities where parents are going there. They're like, hey, who can help me? Hey, who has something for me? And then the question becomes like, yeah, but are parents actually going to pay me? Are they actually going to pay me? There's free services out there. Right. There's free services where you get a random advocate or support person who does not get invested as a parent. They're not going to get invested in my family and my needs. I'm just another person on the list. That's what free does. Does free have a place? Sure does. Okay. Well, what about the lawyers? Why wouldn't somebody get a lawyer? Well, that's a lot of money. And most families don't want to fight. They don't have a case where they need a lawyer. They just need a trusted person. They need a coach. They need somebody to walk them through the process. They need somebody who can anticipate what's going to happen next. They need somebody to know how to work through the system in a positive, collaborative way. So networking is going where the families are already there. I know you're going to have a question. I'm just going to go ahead and answer this one right now. Is, well, how much do families pay? I'm going to give you a range. So the rules of the internet mean that I can't tell you what to charge. I can't tell you exactly what somebody's going to make. And I definitely can't guarantee that you're going to make money. We know that, right? Like, you know that. I cannot guarantee that you're going to make money. What I can tell you is that most Master IEP coaches are charging somewhere in the range of it's 3 hours of work for approximately $425. And then there's a flat rate fee of approximately $500 to attend a meeting. So your average family who hires you, who trusts you, where you get involved in knowing all the things that are happening with their family, they're paying you maybe a little bit less than $1,000 a year. Do you know how many families would love to have, for less than $1,000 a year, a trusted person so they don't have to go into the Facebook groups, so somebody can help them write that letter, and they can go ahead and, cook dinner and deal with the meltdowns at home, and maybe even have some peace and quiet at home because they know that they have your help. That's how I was able to build sustainable income, is that I figured out exactly what pricing worked for me. And then I was able to bring in the families, and I had these fees that were very predictable. So when I built up my clientele, those families hired me year after year after year. And then they told their friends to hire me year after year after year because I was doing a great job for them. They wanted their friends to have the same peace of mind. And that's how the networking worked. It's about having very upfront, easy pricing for parents to access you, building up a beautiful clientele that you can help, and then they will tell their friends, and you'll be able to build that base. I will tell you, one of the ways that I was able to build up that base was to go out and speak. right? We talked about speaking as an income stream, but speaking is also a way for you to network and to find clients. You can see at top right here, it says that I was going to a resource fair at one of the local districts. That's way back in 2012. And this is just a few of the organizations that I worked with. But this is through that resource fair, I then got connected with an organization that, and you can see this is 5 years later. So I had been speaking for them. So I was able to pull a screenshot for this. So I spoke for them in 2017. I spoke for them again in 2019. I've been connected to them for, well over, decades, and it's so long. And I love it. I love all the families. I've been able to watch their kids graduate high school. It's been an amazing way. So the disability community, when you find your place, when you find your people, when they find you, they're not going to let go of you. They're like, nope, she is the person that we need to go to. So this speaking and being focused on your experience and your strategies. Not once did I get up at any of those speaking engagements and preach the law. What I did is I shared, here's the purpose of an IEP, and here are 10 questions you need to ask before your next IEP meeting. And here's why you need to ask them. And then I shared stories. I shared my experience. I was able to relate to the people in the room. You can see here, Karen, who is a Master IEP coach, she said that she used my template for a webinar and she figured out how to do all the tech side of it. And then she had 106 people sign up. No, putting money into ads, no awkward advertising or that. This was just her using my framework to design a webinar, to speak online, and families were finding her. So it's absolutely possible. Writing. I call it writing because it's not just social media. It's not just like posting on social media. You can actually tell your stories in all different ways through social media, on your website. You can LinkedIn. And I know LinkedIn, I don't think about LinkedIn as social media. I think of it as a whole different type of platform. I've also been asked to write for different special needs magazines, gotten featured on different blogs and things from companies. So there's all different ways to get your writing out there. So if you're like, speaking's not my thing, but writing might be your thing, that is definitely an option of sharing your story and putting that out there. 3 ways to create income. How to find your first 5 clients. We covered that. Now, how do you get started? I'm going to tell you that I have laid out an entire Master IEP Coach business curriculum. So all of those questions that you're asking, all of those questions. Well, what about my website? And how do I get things set up? And do I need insurance? And how much am I going to charge? I've given you a little bit of outline, but then how do you send an invoice then? And how are you going to market your business? Which marketing can feel like, well, but I don't want to market. How do you share? How do you share your stories so families want to work with you? All of that is put together in an entire Master IEP Coach business curriculum. I also have for you all of my legacy IEP tools. So my legacy IEP tools are all the tools that I've used to work with clients for almost 30 years. And you're going to take those tools and you're either going to use them yourself behind the scenes with your clients, or you're going to use them as ideas to create your own tools. So this education IEP curriculum, again, it's not about teaching the law. It's about how are we going to use the law as a foundation, and then what are you going to be looking for to help your clients build a very strong, meaningful IEP that prepares a child for the future. It's also going to be focused on helping you resolve conflict quickly and collaboratively. All right, so when you put those 2 things together, your business curriculum and then your Master IEP Coach education curriculum, you have both pieces that you need to become a Master IEP Coach. You can see here, Lindsay says that she loves the wheel. That's an IEP development wheel that's inside of your curriculum. You can see that here we have Master IEP Coach mentorship exceeded all of my expectations. Energy is contagious. This is how I show up, guys. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Here we are, years and years later. Again, Master IEP Coach mentorship started in 2017. I've been doing this for decades. And I get excited because the hope and possibilities that come to the surface when you bring collaborative, unique, creative strategies to the IEP table, so different than traditional advocacy and so different than some of the negative energy that tends to kind of just swallow up our field in special education. You can see Erin here. She's a parent. She said, today I wrote an advocacy letter. So she was doing that ghostwriting that I was talking about, had a call with a client, had another client that had an IEP meeting, talked to one of her old clients about another letter, and then sat in on a 504 meeting. She says things are definitely picking up. So she was brand new at that time. Erin is still in our Master IEP Coach community, as busy as ever. So all of these tools are trademarked for you. And in case you didn't know, just a real quick side note here, getting something trademarked, you actually have to prove that it's unique. It's not just something that you can find out on the internet. These are customized tools behind the scenes for you. So we've covered all three of these, and it's important for you to know that inside of our Master IEP Coach program, when you get your Master IEP Coach t-shirt and you say, hey, I completed this program, there really is a standard of excellence. We always look to perform above the standard norm. We look to find solutions for the long term and maintain positive relationships and well-being for all involved in the IEP process. We stay rooted in collaboration. We use ideal law as the foundation. Our practice is very much focused on being proactive versus reactive, which is unique in itself in our special education community. And we are very focused on turning your experience into income. We talk about finding your ideal client. Your job as a Master IEP Coach is not to solve all special education problems. Take a deep breath. Thank goodness. This is about you talking about what you love, helping with the solutions that you already know how to solve. Like you already know how to solve these problems. You become the idea bringer, solution finder, team builder in your unique area. We have Master IEP coaches that are strictly focused in the dyslexia community, or strictly focused in the AAC community, or strictly focused in the Down syndrome community. Like there's so many different ways for you to say, this is who I love to help. Now, can you help more people than just that small group? Absolutely. You can help whoever you want, but you don't have to help everyone. You can see here, we've had, let's see, Laura says, I've had contacts from 5 or 6 different people in the last couple of weeks. They found through a friend or a friend or a friend, a friend of a friend, right? So people start to talk. So you can see that somebody said, I had my first consult call, sent the invoice, getting referrals from a parent support specialist. There's somebody else who's getting referrals from their local superintendent. Yes. Schools often will actually refer for parents to work with Master IEP coaches if they're looking for support help, because they know that we show up with the spirit of collaboration, even when we're tough. Collaboration does not mean that we always give in, right? Collaboration means that you can be tough, but you're going to do it in a different way. So if you decide to become a Master IEP coach, here's the things that you are going to get. Private coaching, one-on-one with me. And by the way, no Zoom calls. This is on your schedule. I actually have an app on my phone. You're going to have it on your phone too. It's called Voxer. We can leave text and voice messages for each other. You're going to leave messages for me any time of the day, 24/7. I'm going to answer you back Monday through Thursday, once a day. So I have my hours that I work. You have your hours that you work, and it's all going to work together beautifully on your schedule. I'm going to be able to help you through all the tech that you need to get set up, your website, your pricing, your templates of anything from, what you need out in front, whether it's social media templates, website templates, or client tools, what you need behind the scenes, those templates, those checklists, those things to make sure that you're serving your clients well. I'll help you come up with strategies so you can find your ideal clients, and you're going to get lifetime access with lifetime updates. Okay, so when you invest to become a Master IEP Coach, you get lifetime access to the course, lifetime access to the updates of the course. You do not get lifetime access to me. You'll get access to me for the first 30 days. So you're going to enroll and you're going to get access to me for the first 30 days. We're going to help you create income and impact in a way that works for you. So with private coaching for the first 30 days with me, and lifetime access to your Master IEP Coach library, you're going to make more progress than you've ever made while dreaming or asking ChatGPT how to become an advocate, how to build a website, how do I make money online. This is an unfiltered, everything behind the scenes you have access to that comes to business building and serving clients as a Master IEP Coach. I'm going to take you through these 4 steps behind the scenes when you decide to become a Master IEP Coach. We're going to figure out who your ideal client is, who is your ideal client, and how are you going to help them? Which of those 3 things are most important for you? Like which one of those? Do you want to serve clients one-on-one? Would you love to be a paid speaker? Do you want to create something online, courses, memberships, digital products? We're going to design systems because no hustle, no burnout. Like that's not allowed. So how are you going to set up your website, your virtual office, your outreach strategies? How are you going to connect? What are you going to say? What are you going to do out in the community, either online or in person? And then how are we going to keep everything aligned with your life? See, I don't know your life yet. I'll know a little bit about it when you send me a message and you say, hey, I'm going to be a Master IEP coach. I'm going to ask you, what are your goals? What's your experience in special education? Who would you love to help? What do you see your ideal days looking like? And so you're going to be able to share with me, and we're going to design something that works uniquely for you. So that you get that one-on-one coaching, text and voice message. You get core Master IEP Coach step-by-step kits and bonuses, all delivered directly by me. This is my full-time work. I think that's important for you to know that like I'm not out here doing, a million other things and somebody on my team is going to help you. Nope. I'm going to be directly working with you, directly coaching you. You're going to get your business and coaching kit with everything you need to get started, business and coaching side. We've talked about that. Your professional website kit, like literally in a few clicks, you can be published. You can use the entire template the way it is or switch it out. It's up to you. Your paid speaker kit. So if speaking is something that you want to do, you'll learn how to build your signature talk. You'll learn how to secure speaking gigs, know what to say. The best is when if you speak in person and then like people are like waiting for you outside. They're like, just one more question, just one more question. That's how you know like you've designed a really great talk. And because I want to make sure that you have even more tools and credibility for your clients, you can also earn your Master IEP Coach certificate in your first 30 days. You're going to be able to earn your Master IEP Coach certificate. And then the question is going to be like, well, what if I can't get it done in 30 days? You have lifetime access. Okay. But I'm telling you, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. There's no tests. There's no big projects that you have to do. You're really going to lean into all of the things that we just talked about. You're going to learn about them in depth. You're going to chat with me on Voxer where, you're going to take these first steps and you're going to earn your Master IEP Coach certificate. You can see Nancy said, this mentorship is a game changer. I'm blown away by the amount of amazing information and support I have received, and it's not even been 30 days. Catherine is so passionate and motivated. It's contagious. Get ready. Just get ready. So this is everything that's included. Those are not false numbers. They're not inflated just for the fact of like looking good. This is exactly when I used to have things individual, like you can go ahead and enroll in this, or you can enroll in that, or you can do this, or right. No, everything is packaged up into one right now. It's one thing. And on top of these things, I love swag. I love sending things to your door. Like there's something about in this digital world, like to get a package to show up to your door. It's so fun, right? So you're going to get your Master IEP Coach swag mailed to your door. So all of these things, that's over 2,500. Well, this is 3,200 because it's counting the swag and all the coaching and all of those things. You're going to have all of those things, but you do not need to pay a large amount to get started. Okay, because I don't think that you should have to make a $2,000 or $3,000 decision today to decide if this is right for you. Absolutely not. I run things differently. I work in special education differently. Everything is different. So this training is different also. You can have immediate access to all of the curriculum and coaching. Okay, one payment, $497. Nothing else. Like no other, like $497. And then I will tell you a full disclosure. If you want to coach with me after the 30 days, there's an option for that. There's an option, like a significantly discounted option for you and I to continue to work together after this, but you can absolutely become a Master IEP Coach for $497. I don't want you to make a thousands of dollars decision right now. I want you to say, I'm committed. I want to learn. I want to help families. That you want to get all of this and get started and make the most of your first 30 days by you and I working together, and then have lifetime access to the course and to the curriculum. And if you choose that you want to continue to work together, again, there's that option. I'm being so transparent with you right now because I can't tell you how many times I've enrolled in something and they're like, okay, and, right? And this is transparent. $497 one-time payment, masteripcoach.com/mentorship. I will take you through, again, first 30 days, you're going to figure out who you're going to help, how you're going to help them, design your systems, get your website, your virtual office up and running, start learning how to do your outreach in your community and make sure that it all stays in alignment with your life. One time payment. Is there a payment plan? Yes, there is a payment plan. If you need a payment plan, you're like, Catherine, $497 is great, but I can't afford a one-time payment. Yes, there is a payment plan. Just go to masteriepcoach.com/mentorship. You'll see the payment plan option there. There's a 6 payment plan there for you. Remember, this is for you. If you have experience at the IEP table, you refuse to get involved in IEP drama, and you want to turn your IEP experience into income. Head on over to masteriepcoach.com/mentorship. If you have questions about any of this, just send an email, leave a comment. Wherever you are watching this, I am happy to answer them for you. Again, transparency is a huge value of mine. So if you need to know, like, does it include something specific? If I've not answered one of your questions, please go ahead and reach out. Special education, parents, teachers, admins, and therapists are all in this program. It's a unique program where we're working together collaboratively to solve special education struggles and to prepare students for further education, employment, independent living. Head on over, masteriepcoach.com/mentorship. Grab your space. I cannot wait to meet you. I can't wait to send you your swag in the mail so you can say that you're a Master IEP coach and that you love to solve special education struggles. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I hope to work with you soon.